I posed the question last week, what if nothing is wrong? And invited you to send me your response. How did that land for you? And how would your life shift if you adopted that perspective, even if for an hour or a day? And I want to share some of those responses with you now, and also just share why I posted that in the first place. So, for starters, thank you so much to all of you who sent me your response and your reaction to that. Your responses range from totally silly to profound, and a couple of serious ones in between. Generally, the flavor of it was, what do you mean nothing's wrong? There's something always wrong. Or there's something always wrong, you just have to look for it. To the other end of the spectrum, to there's something always right, you just have to look for it. One woman wrote, I would feel lighter and more peaceful, while another woman wrote, if nothing's wrong, then I want my money back. If nothing's wrong, who am I? Then I'm going to go sit down for a week. I'm going to be furious that I've spent this so much of my precious time worrying about things. If nothing's wrong. Others said, oh no, that's ridiculous. I mean, how could you, like, maybe kids can feel like nothing's wrong, but there's a lot wrong in the world, and I can't argue with that. And there were others, but I'm also thinking of one more where a woman responded saying, when I first read the question, I thought, well, nothing's personally wrong. But then I had to ask myself, if that's the case, then why am I so hyper vigilant much of the time? And I love that she asked herself that question. The whole idea behind posting that question was to invite you to pause and get curious about what would happen if I looked through this particular lens. How would my life shift? Our perspective about that question or anything in life really shapes how we take action, how we feel, what our mood is going to be. And I'm guessing that depending on who you are, what your life experience is, what was going on at the very time that you saw that question, what your mood was, all of those variables factored into how you responded. I want to be very clear, there was no right answer. How could there be a right answer to the question, what if nothing's wrong? There was no right answer. It was an opportunity and an invitation to allow you to say, how am I looking at this thing and this thing called life? And is it serving me in the way that I'm looking at it? And if your answer is yes, it totally supports me, wonderful. But if you're feeling like, you know, it's not serving me, it doesn't support me, I don't like how I feel, it's information and an opportunity to shift your perspective and think, what if nothing is wrong? There are some schools of thought that would say, and do say, that everything is perfect. Everything is unfolding perfectly. And I realize that might feel lofty and spiritual, but I believe that is the case. And there is no, you should have to have this particular perspective. But the idea is to invite you to take a look at how you look at things and examine that for a moment. I've written about how we're so on autopilot much of the time. And a question sometimes can get us just to stop long enough to say, I could look at this differently. You know, whether you're a glass half empty, glass half full, there aren't enough glasses to go around kind of gal or guy. How we look at things shapes how we respond. And let me be clear, I am not saying that there aren't things that are crazy and that our world isn't troubled. clearly we have big troubles. And how can you cultivate inside yourself a perspective that serves you and supports you for how you want to live, for how you want to navigate through today, just today? So I hope you had fun with it. Lastly, I'll close with a friend called to say that this question alone totally changed her time with her in-laws. She just spent a week with her in-laws, and normally it's not very fun. And she just kept asking herself, what if nothing's wrong? And it helped her lighten up and enjoy herself more. And she ended up having fun. And then she said, I think I want to get this tattooed on me. And I thought, well, I'm not going to do that, but feel free and let me know when you do. So, okay, my friends, thank you so much for participating, and more questions to come. Hope you're all doing well. I'll see you next week.